I'm here at the G2 Energy stand with Calvin, the Managing Director. Calvin, obviously you're one of the main sponsors of UK Construction Week. What made you decide to come to the show?
Well, we're looking for diversifying into new sectors. We've been heavily involved in renewable solar wind projects to date. However, we've decided we're going to diversify into new residential, industrial, commercial sectors. So we particularly thought this might be a good show for us to expand and diversify into those areas.
That's brilliant. And could you tell me a little bit more about what G2 Energy sort of actually does?
Yes, of course. We're primarily a civil and electrical power engineering company, heavily involved in high voltage projects, infrastructure for new housing sites, industrial, commercial developments, large logistics parks. We're an independent connections provider, which means that we can do grid connections up to 132 kV in competition with the national distribution network operators. We've also recently achieved or secured our independent distribution license, which again allows us to compete against the national distribution operators.
And so whilst you're at UK Construction Week, obviously there's sort of 9 shows under one roof, a huge number of people. Who are you hoping to meet here, Calvin, and who do you want to come and see you at the stand here?
Primarily developers, infrastructure consultants, main tier 1 contractors, whilst the show is very much focused on the new build sector. Of course, before the housing becomes all the infrastructure, that all the roads and diversions, new primary substations, etc., goes in advance of the housing developers. So that's our main focus, and hopefully we'll get some good business leads from this show.
Brilliant. And obviously you've got a lot going on the stand here, but I'm intrigued as to what's in this sort of shipping container behind us.
Would you like to see? It's a containerized substation, 33 kV. We build these in our factory workshop in Milton Keynes. So we just take an empty container in from our suppliers, and we fully kit it out to whatever the client specifications are. This particular one is a 33 kV switchboard, which has been set up to supply a solar project, solar development. But as I mentioned, they can basically be designed and constructed to whatever the client specifications are. It's got its own built-in transformer on the back. Behind the wall there is a small office, but again, if you wanted a bigger switch, or if the client needed a bigger switch room, we would just adjust the design accordingly.
I mean, it's an impressive piece of kit. How long would it take to install or design one of these?
We can turn these round in a rush in less than a week in our workshop. Providing we've got all the equipment pre-ordered and available to us. And the beauty of it is when they go to site, the installation is de-skilled or relatively de-skilled and extremely swift. We can get them on site, and if we had to, get them connected to the grid within 2 or 3 days.
That is a super fast turnaround for something that looks so impressive.
There's a lot of work that gets done in advance to allow that, but yes.
Yeah. So how many properties, or how much power could that generate?
This one, this particular switchboard would be for probably about a 30 megawatt solar farm, which if you put that into how many houses, probably about 50,000 houses. But that's, of course, providing the sun is shining and it's generating.
That's brilliant, Calvin. Thank you. I thought you were going to say 50 houses, but 50,000. And it's made in a week. Brilliant. Okay, well, Calvin, it's been great to meet you. I hope you have a good couple of days at the show.